So, you're a parent or a caregiver, and your child has just received an autism diagnosis. That's a huge moment, right? And it's probably filled with a million different emotions. We're here to help you walk through those very first steps. Everything we're going to talk about today is based on a fantastic resource pack from Psicon, which is really designed to be your guide. Let's dive in. Yeah, getting that diagnosis, it can feel just like this. Like suddenly you've been handed a map to a place you weren't expecting to go. And it is completely natural to feel a little lost, wondering which way to even turn. But try to think of this map less as a warning and more as a guide, a really special guide to understanding and appreciating your child's amazing, unique way of seeing the world. And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? With this new map in your hands, where on earth do you start? Well, that's exactly what this is for. We want this to be your starting point, that first step on the path to help you get your bearings. Okay, first things first. Let's just talk about the moment itself. It is so important to just sit with and acknowledge all the big emotions that come with a diagnosis. Because this isn't just a piece of paper, it's a whole new way of looking at your child and your family's journey together. You know, it's so important to let yourself feel whatever you're feeling. Maybe it's relief because you finally have an answer. Maybe it's a bit of grief for the future you pictured. Maybe it's hope for all the new ways you're going to connect. Or maybe it's just total confusion. All of that is okay. All of it is valid. There is absolutely no right way to react. So how do we start to get our heads around this? Well, the Psicon resource pack has this brilliant metaphor that really helps reframe what autism is. It's not about something being wrong, it's just about a difference. It asks you to think about Mac versus Windows computers. Think about it. On the outside, a Mac and a PC look pretty much the same, right? A screen, a keyboard. You can't tell what's running inside just by looking at the case. It's the same with people. You can't know someone is autistic just by how they look. The difference is on the inside. It's in the brain's operating system. Now, if you sit down at a Mac and try to use all the Windows keyboard shortcuts, what happens? You're just gonna get frustrated. But here's the thing, the Mac isn't broken, right? It's not faulty. You're just using the wrong commands. And that is such a key insight. Often, when an autistic child is struggling, it's because the world is giving them Windows commands when their brain runs on Mac. And that's the real game changer here. The goal is not to force a Mac to run on Windows. The goal is to learn the Mac commands, to figure out the kinds of support, the communication styles, and the environments that let your child's unique operating system run smoothly and just thrive. All right, next up is a really big one, and it can feel a little daunting, talking with your child about their diagnosis. Now, you know your child better than anyone, so you'll know when the time is right. But when you are ready, here are a few ideas to help that conversation feel really positive and empowering. First off, always lead with their strengths. Talk about all the cool things that make them who they are. Use simple, clear language, and remember, you don't have to explain the whole thing in one go. Frame it as a different way your brain works, not a sickness. And maybe most important of all, let them know this is just the beginning of the conversation. They can always come to you with questions. Okay, so we've talked about the emotional side of things and how to start the conversation. Now let's get practical. Let's look at some of the tools you can have in your toolkit. The full resource pack has tons of these, but we're just going to take a quick tour through a few examples. Emotional regulation is huge, and there are some amazing tools for this. Things like the 5-point scale, which gives kids a visual way to rate how they're feeling before things get too big. Routines and visual schedules are also lifesavers because they cut down on anxiety. The brain isn't always guessing what's next. And the trigger diary can help you both become detectives to spot what leads to stressful moments so you can make changes. And then there are sensory needs, which are absolutely key. Many autistic kids experience sounds, sights, and touch so much more intensely. Simple things can make a world of difference. Ear defenders can make a noisy classroom bearable. Fidget toys or a weighted blanket can provide this wonderful, calming feeling. And planned movement breaks are perfect for getting that energy out in a good way. When it comes to communication, patience is everything. Seriously, just giving your child a few extra seconds to process what you said can change everything. Visuals are also fantastic. Things like picture cards or lists can make instructions so much clearer. And tools like social stories are incredible. They're like a practice run for a new situation, like going to the dentist, which helps take the fear out of the unknown. All right, and last but definitely not least, and honestly this might be the most important thing we talk about, please remember, you are not on this journey alone. Finding your people, your community, is absolutely essential. So, where do you look? A great place to start is your local authority's website. They'll have something called a local offer, which is basically a big directory of services in your area. Online parent groups can be a godsend, connecting you with people who just get it. And when you're feeling up to it, workshops can offer really deep practical advice. Just take your time and find what feels right for you. As we wrap up, I want to leave you with this idea because it really changes everything. It's all about celebrating your child's strengths. Because autism is a difference, not a disorder. It's not about fixing a problem. It's about understanding and celebrating a core part of who your amazing child is. So we're back to that map. It's not a map of problems. It's a treasure map. It points to all of your child's unique gifts, their passions, and their incredible strengths. So the real question is, now that you have this map, what's the very first strength you're going to celebrate?